downshift, easy gear, spin it to win it. Bike blogger here, on my way to work. Today I want to talk about how do you get started bicycle commuting. I had a viewer ask me this question, like how do you get into it? Well, that's a that's a big question. I could go on and on about it. So I guess I'll just sort of talk about it. To get started bicycle commuting, number one thing to actually do it is you need a good bike. A bike in good working condition. Right? Because if you're riding on a unsafe bike, you get really hurt on the road. So you want a bike in good working order. It should be able to shift. It should certainly be able to brake. And it shouldn't be, cracked or dented, because there's a risk, a possibility that the frame of the bike could be compromised. By that I mean there's no compromise. If the bike is busted, then it's busted. It could possibly be fixed, but you don't want to be riding around on that. You don't want to be riding around on something dangerous. Alright, so if you got a good bike, something reliable, I did a whole video about getting the ideal commuter bike with fenders, disc brakes, somewhat wide tires, smooth tread, like this bike. This is my Diamondback. I'll post a link in the description below. It's a custom, bike. I have changed pretty much a lot of stuff on it since I bought it, but most bikes probably in the $400 to $600 range are really nice as a commuter bike. Let's go over here. Cut through. So you can do stuff like this, which is quite rewarding that you can't do in a car. That's sort of cool. Places you can't go with a car. So that's number one. You need a good bike. Like I said, I got a video on that. Now, what bike you pick is totally a personal, choice. I mean, I personally don't believe a mountain bike with big knobby tires is necessary for riding on the road. You don't need suspension. Personally, I don't think you do. But, some people may just like that. Having one bike that does everything is an interesting thought, but it just doesn't work out in practice, in my opinion. If you want a bike for mountain biking and a bike for road cycling, you need two bikes. The best place between the two would be something like a touring bike, which is basically a cyclocross bike, but a little more relaxed geometry and with places to mount fenders. It's been sort of rainy. I got my rain bag with my spare clothes with me today. That's something to think about. As a beginner, I guess I wouldn't recommend riding in bad weather like the rain and snow and ice, because you need the proper equipment, and if you got it, then you're good. For ice, you need little spikes on your tires. For rain, you should have fenders. Disc brakes help a lot because they're just consistent in their braking power, whether they're wet or not, unlike rim brakes. Rim brakes can work though, so it's up to you. Make a right, yeah. So as you can see right now, I'm riding on some multi-use trail. If you got this around where you live, I'd recommend starting on something like this, I guess. You do need to learn to ride on the roads though, because to get anywhere, you gotta ride on the streets. And some people are just uncomfortable with that, you know? So you can get more comfortable. I talked about it in, you know, past videos, cycling motivation, some other videos I got. I'll try to post some links in the description below this video. And if you have any questions, leave comments below the video. So I got a lot of bike commuter viewers who watch a lot of my videos and have a lot of their own, you know, experiences they can share with you. You know, riding in all sorts of different situations, be it urban or rural. The right kind of equipment, you know, you want lights. Lights are very important. At night and even at day, especially a day like this when the weather's bad, visibility is worse because, you know, people are using the windshield wipers on their cars. It might be raining, even if it is sort of bright. The brighter the light you got, the more likelihood you're going to be seen. I didn't really want to go this way. I want to turn around here. Turn around here. Puddle. No worries about the puddle though, because it's rainy. Because it's raining. I'm not really thinking straight here. Okay. Turn around. I was just going to take the trail a little more here. There we go. Whew. Let's check out that creek here. Can't remember if this is Black Creek or something else. Water is flowing. Sort of cool. It's definitely different riding a bike around your city. It gives you a whole new perspective on things, and you're going at a slower pace. I don't care if you're Lance Armstrong, you're still going at a different pace than you are in a car. So, and it's just so different because you're outside. So it's even better than a convertible car with the top down. It's just a completely different feeling. And it's a great feeling to get yourself someplace under your own power. But getting back to how to get started, you need to figure this stuff out. I spend a lot of time, you know, trying to tweak this stuff, like my bicycle route to work. You know, trying to pick the way with the least amount of stop signs. But it doesn't always work out because there's construction or something going on. So you gotta always have alternative routes. I recommend leaving early, because I imagine one of the things that gets a lot of people to just stop bike commuting is they just find that they're always getting to work late or something. You just gotta give yourself more time to prepare and to change clothes, you know. That gets me into sweating and getting wet in the rain. You're gonna get wet. If your commute is anything more than a couple miles, you're gonna get a little wet. So just be prepared for that. Bring a spare set of clothes. But wear what you think is comfortable on the bike. You don't have to wear the cycling tights. A lot of people do like those a lot. For good reason. They do a good job at what they're supposed to do. For a longer ride, they might be worth it. For the typical bike commuter, they may not really be worth it though, because they can get a little expensive. And you don't need to spend a lot of money. And look at it this way, if you become a dedicated bike commuter, this guy does not have his signal on. He's going left, okay. I'm about to get on a bigger road here. Just waiting for traffic to pass. There we go. Eye contact. Communication is key. getting your fitness level up helps too, of course. Da, 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 da. I'll make a right here. I don't want to wait at the light. Traffic just keeps coming. But once they all pass, they'll be empty. I'll have the road to myself for a little bit. But now we're behind the wave of traffic, so now I got the road to myself for a little bit here as I climb the hill. I'd recommend a multi-speed bike for most people, unless you live in a really flat area like Manhattan, New York City. Right in the middle of the lane, even if you're going slow, you'll be the most visible in the middle. Especially if there's another lane. If there's only one lane of traffic, you might move a little more to the side. Not required. It's courteous, but not required. Woo, it is windy. I'm heading south and I got about a 15-mile-per-hour headwind. Signaled and moved over. Whew. Things are a little bit louder though when on the road on a bike. We got our signal. I had a video about how to make the light turn green for you on a bike, because you might have trouble with that. I'll try to put the link in the description below about that. Halfway done with my commute. I'd say the ideal commute is 4 miles, and that's what mine is. The road is really wide here, so I can move over as long as there's no parked cars. I'm gonna make a right here and go back this way. So it's downshift. Easy gear. Spin it to win it. So you need to figure out the route. Use an online map like Google Maps. You can turn on the bike routes thing. It's sort of helpful. Mainly what it's going to tell you are bike trails and bike lanes. But like I said, you need to learn how to ride on all roads. You'll feel a lot more confident for it. So that takes care of the bike, the route. Now equipment. Talk about like lights, very important. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things. Occasional bike maintenance. If you're not an enthusiast like myself, you likely don't have a garage full of specialty tools. You don't need to use specialty tools, but it is a little nicer on the bike. But you can use this thing as simple as a adjustable wrench to do a lot of stuff. Even to take things like pedals off. There are some tricky areas to get to on a bike though that require special tools. I wouldn't really worry about that though. If you have a local bike shop, hopefully you do. You know, you treat them as like an auto repair shop or something. Like you take your car in to get regular maintenance. You can do that with your bike every 6 months or whatever. Have them take a look at it, make sure it's still safe, and adjust things for you. So it's tuned just right. So cargo. How are you gonna carry stuff? Again, that's a personal matter. I'd say, especially for longer rides, carrying stuff on the bike is recommended. Get a bike rack, some pannier bags, P-A-N-N-I-E-R. You can just clip those onto the rack and take them off. I mean, it's real easy. They can be a little pricey though. Depends if you get like the waterproof kind or not. Very cool though. They use them in Europe a lot. If you don't have a lot of heavy stuff to carry, you might go with a backpack. Almost everyone has a backpack. Or some sort of bag you carry on your shoulder. That's sort of what I'm doing now. I got a dry bag. Sort of the sort of bag you have with you on a float trip down a river or something. What else? I touched on fitness. You know, start slow, start easy, I say. Find some group rides if you can. Specifically rides for beginners. Because I mean, if you go to like a club ride, then people are expecting to keep an average pace of, you know, over 15 miles per hour. You're gonna have trouble keeping up. So, and you're gonna get turned off real quick. So don't put yourself through that. Like I said, a lot of these things are personal choice. I personally choose to have pedal or foot retention with clipless pedals. It can be sort of daunting to be locked to your bike for a beginner. So I probably recommend just starting with platform pedals. Now, I'm talking to a bunch of different people here. Probably, mainly, most of you are cycling enthusiasts already, but I'm talking to the beginners here. If you got more tips, leave them in the comment section below. Like I said, help us out. We'll see you next time. And there it goes.